Hi, okay, so I'm gonna show you really quickly. First of all, I have some black on my palette. So this, I think it's the same brush that you have. It's the Princeton Neptune in a size 6. Can't remember if you got that same brush or not, but I have some black here and I'm just going to get my whole brush pretty saturated in it so you can see it's pretty wet. And then with the very tip, the teeniest little tip, I think what might help you is if you start doing some brush strokes. So this, here, I'll just show you. When you get a chance to paint again, if you just practice doing these brush strokes, like where you're just barely putting your brush down and you're kind of holding it at a 90-degree angle, horizontal or vertically, and you just start doing these kinds of brush strokes. This is what you would use. Let me zoom in. This is what you would use for your stem for the tree, okay? So after you get familiar with painting these thin brush strokes, the cool thing, and I'm sure you realize this, is you can also make like thick brush strokes just by adding more pressure. And this is actually how you would make a leaf, by the way. Wait, is that on there? Yeah. And then you can make stems like this. It's like the easiest thing to do, okay? Just with how you apply the pressure. So, but that's not what you want to see. What I do for trees is I'm getting more paint on my brush now. I'm running out of black, so I'm just gonna do purple so it's dark. So I'm gonna make this stem for the tree, and then from the top I'm just gonna move my brush horizontally, like very lightly, and you want to keep it kind of thin at the top, and then as you go down, like slowly start expanding it until you get to the bottom and it's much thicker on the bottom. Okay, so that's one way to do a tree that's pretty simple, like very, very simple. Trying to think what other trees there are that you could do. Pretty much anything that you do with a silhouette, you can, here, let me show you. So same idea, like let's say you have this thicker kind of tree trunk and then you kind of like make squiggles like for branches or something. Like you could leave it just like this for a silhouette that's kind of bare, or you could add little dots to it and it'll make it look like fuller, I guess you could say. And it's so simple, like you're just making little dots, and you know, I'm sure you're figuring out that watercolor is really intuitive and it's about like what you see and how you use the brush and the amount of paint and water. Like everything is going to come to you the more you practice it. But yeah, it's very, very intuitive. So those are two. Here, I'm gonna zoom out. The clarity's not so good. Those are two really easy trees that you can do. Another fun exercise, since we're here, is if you want to learn about how to It's called layering. Glazing, I mean. I think that Macchiato girl talks about it. But you take a really light, like very, very light color. Like, hold on, I'm trying to focus it. Take a really, really light color like this and use that as your base. Okay, and then you can just start painting like little mountains, kind of like this, and then grab some water and just like kind of fade it out before it dries. And just bring it as low as you want until you don't really see any more paint. Like clean your brush off all the way and bring it down all the way. Okay, and then you would wait for this layer to dry, and then you would build another layer on top of that with like, oops, sorry, say like a little bit of a darker color, and add it to that original color, and then paint more mountains, but this is still super wet. And you would make this like kind of, these mountains are really far off in the distance, and then the more layers of mountains that you do, the closer they'll appear because you're going to darken the, I'll just try and show you. So like you would do that and make a darker layer of mountains, and like also like drag it down to the bottom, and then add another layer of mountains here. And then that's when you could use this silhouette, like these tree silhouettes here. Hope that made sense. It's kind of not the best lighting, but let's say that we wanted to do like another darker layer of mountains here. So the closer the mountains are, the darker they appear in color, until finally you get this super dark mountain over here at the forefront, and then that's when you can do the tree and this, like a bunch of these ones, that first tree I showed you. Okay, hope that made sense. I'm so glad that you're doing watercolor. It's really exciting. Let me know if there's anything in particular that you would like to learn. Maybe I could show you a video like this. This is fun for me. Okay, hope you're having a nice time sleeping. Okay, bye.